Hi, I'm Arienne Keith, and I like to light people on fire.
Ah!
There's electrical milk.
Yeah. Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of MMO Anthropology. I'm here in Team Fortress 2 with Arienne Keith, the Pyro in front of me, who I'm sure you just watched set me on fire.
Hada hada!
So to begin our interview, I'm wondering, why did you choose Team Fortress 2 to hold this interview in?
Well, it's the MMO that's currently holding my interest, and I've been going back to it for a few weekends now. So it's a pretty good game. It's nice because the game is so casual that I can have a really good time even with people that I don't know. Outside of TF2, I game almost exclusively with friends, or friends of friends, if they happen to bring them in on it. But Team Fortress 2, I don't really have to set anything up. I can just jump in, and if I don't like the group I'm with, I just hop servers, or, we can always shuffle the teams as needed.
True.
So.
Why this particular map? I know that you like this one.
Well, my two favorite games are Capture the Flag and King of the Hill, and this is a new map, and it's new and shiny and fun. It's a nice big map.
Well,
Kind of like the feel of it.
And I know for everyone listening, Team Fortress 2 isn't exactly a massively multiplayer game. It's more of just an online game that pulls people together into arenas and etc. with a lot of PvP, although they've introduced a whole bunch of co-op PvE with Mann-vs-Machine. But what other games do you regularly play, or which MMO games have you liked in the past?
Probably one of the first ones was Rusty Hearts, just because I'm an anime geek and really enjoyed playing Franz, the angsty emo vampire, and it just reminded me so much of the anime fan culture and fan fictions that they would write about stuff. Um, After that was DC Universe Online.
Control point.
Ooh.
My control point. Mine.
Okay.
Um, After that was DC Universe Online. That had a really great character creator in it. So, being that it's a kind of a third-person viewpoint, I got to look at the character a lot, which was fun. That was part of the fun. And just seeing references to comic book stuff. I kind of like comic book culture as well.
So do you spend a lot of time on character creation, like getting them to look just right before you hop into the game with them?
Oh yeah, hours, and then probably the hardest part is picking a name. Putting together the costume, I generally know what I want, but figuring out a name and finding one that's good and hasn't been taken yet is tough.
What goes into causing you to choose a particular MMO game over another one?
Partly what my friends are playing at the moment. I use MMOs to stay in contact with friends, especially now that I've had to move out of state for school reasons. So it allows me to stay in contact with the folks back home because I plan on going back there as soon as I graduate.
Excellent. And I know that you've played other MMO games, like, for example, Star Trek Online, which is one that I cover a lot.
Oh yes, Star Trek Online. That was I got into that sort of at the end of my DC Universe Online phase, and being a Trekkie all my life, or being born to a Trekkie and growing up with it, I just loved all the Star Trek references in there. My mom was hooked on the original series, and I watched Next Generation and everything when I was a kid, and still watch reruns of it sometimes. So Star Trek is a lot of fun. Probably the best part was getting... Oh, mission ends. Because I'm winning! Maybe you should try capturing that control point.
Give us another 3 minutes. Hopefully
Yes,
it's not too
give us
loud.
another 3 minutes.
So, what sort of things from the Star Trek Online game did you like? What appealed to you and brought you back to it?
Well, they had a lot of they had more episodes on there uh, to finish, so I waited until we finished the arc. I didn't really stop playing it until we had finished the all of the episodes on there. I never really got into the user-made content because a lot of it seemed to be too much reading, and I don't really like reading quest texts ever.
Oh, I
Uh,
understand. Uh, so,
but I've heard that there's new episodes in there, so I need to go get back into it and check those out.
yeah, I think they just released season 6, which involves the Tholians. So you
That should be
play
fun.
since you play a lot of Team Fortress 2 and you do so casually. Does that mean that you tend to like the player versus player content, or the player versus player context where you're going after and well, lighting other people on fire?
Well, it changes things up. I've been playing rather simple computer games since I was a kid, and I don't really know how to describe it other than I just kind of get a feel for what the computer's rules are, and if the computer is not programmed to be highly adaptive, then I figure out how to beat it after playing against it several times. You know, I've done this with the Microsoft Internet backgammon. As soon as the real person leaves the game and is replaced by a computer player, I dominate them in very short order because I'm already familiar with exactly what the computer does, even when it's set to advanced level. So having real people really changes things up. They're also really entertaining. The other class I like to play in Team Fortress 2 is an engineer, and some of the times there would be other characters that would take out whatever melee weapon they had. You know, all the pyros were coming over to my sentry and, you know, whacking at it,
Mm-hmm.
taking shots at it while I was hitting it with my wrench. So just people are funny. The
Well,
spray paints they put up, the antics they get into.
Mission ends in 60 seconds.
well, the game's about to get really loud at us, so let me cut this here and come back to it when the game's not going to throw us around.
Well, speaking of cutting, you know.
Ow! Ah! Oh, thank you. That's right, people. Never play with a pyro.
Hada hada!
Alright, now that the game is a little bit more sedate for the moment, it's just us, of course, otherwise I'd be running and dying everywhere while trying to do this interview. So, Arienne Keith, how do you use online games like Team Fortress 2 or Star Trek Online, etc., differently than you use other forms of entertainment like movies or books?
Well, it's more interactive, particularly with MMOs, you know, games like Star Trek Online and DCO and such. I use that a lot for the social aspect. Outside of having friends come in with me, I don't really go into those games by myself very much. Although I did go into Star Trek Online a fair amount just because I was trying to grind for energy credits so that I could purchase Mark 12 purple items for my ship on the exchange. But other than that, the actual gameplay where I go through and play episodes, I like to do that with friends and family. Team Fortress 2, it's got somewhat of a social element, but you oftentimes don't have people talking to you in the game because there's very few people that have microphones and very few people that want to have microphones. I don't carry a microphone personally because I've heard bad things about the way that women are treated in the gaming community sometimes, even though we make up about half of all gamers. Well, we make up about half the population too, so that only makes sense. So I tend to be pretty mute. So it gets into using emotes and taunts and things like that. So that's kind of fun.
Oh yeah, so pretty much you stay away from the microphone, but there's still people who have microphones and talk during battles. Do you often involve yourself in strategies that other people try to use their microphones to generate?
I did a couple of times, but they don't oftentimes try to generate strategies.
Oh.
Every once in a while you'll find people with microphones, but they'll spend a lot of the game just not saying anything, and then there'll be this one surprising loud outburst when they die or something like that. They'll shout, "Spy!" "Ah, god damn it, spy!" Or something like that. But there was a group once that was actually organizing themselves pretty well. I think there's only 2 or 3 people with microphones, but the rest of us could hear, and they did organize a few attacks pretty well. So that was fun, but it's rare.
So we're running out of time in this interview, but I thought that I'd lead off, or at least leave the interview, by asking you why. Apparently, Pyro is one of your favorites. Ah!
Sorry.
Oh.
Fire!
Oh,
Fire!
no,
Fire!
no. Okay.
Oh, that doesn't work on you?
It's all
Sorry
right.
about that. Here,
Wha-
there's cake over here.
So why is the Pyro your favorite class in the game?
Well, I get to set people on fire.
Is there any other reason, or are you just a Pyro at heart?
I think I'm mostly just a pyro at heart. It's also a really good AoE thing. I don't know. I have a lot of trouble with the.
That's awesome.
Yes, my husband said that, and so I went into MS Paint and wrote it down. It's my spray paint now.
Excellent.
Where was I? Oh yes. I really like weapons. In just about all the games I play, I tend to stick with fully automatic weapons. Something that has, a continuous spray of death, doom, and destruction. If I have to stop and reload in between, it really ticks me off. So yeah, continuous spray, heavy damage. That's the way I like it. That's the way I roll.
All right, and on that note, everyone else, thank you for coming to another MMO Anthropology interview. This has been Arienne Keith, the Pyro from Team Fortress 2. Okay, as long as you're not letting me on fire again. Meanwhile, thank you everyone, good night and good dreams.
Do you play online games? Do you have Skype? Then we'd love to interview you on Massive Online Anthropology. Join the fascinating thousands who've spoken about their online gaming experience and be the envy of all your friends. Or at least get the MMO Anthropology Geek Merit Badge. Sorry, no t-shirt. See you then!